Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 789, we're going to talk about Asmodeus the Archfiend. For 6 mana, we get a 6/6 Devil God. This is another creature we can put in our Tribal Gods decks. If you would draw a card, exile the top card of your library face down so we don't get to see it. Instead, excuse me. 3 black mana, draw 7 cards. If that is not the most powerful thing I have ever seen, that one line. And then for a single black, return all cards exiled with this to their owner's hand, and you lose that much life. So it's paying a life, drawing a card, but you get to do it 7 at a time, or actually more, because if you would draw a card for any reason, including your normal one for the turn. And yeah, you can keep paying that 3 over and over again, but eventually you're going to want those cards in your hand and lose some life. So I had a very old school nostalgic feel about this one. But there's one card that I've got to go first. Now, Necrotic Ooze. As long as it's on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creature cards in all graveyards. Activated abilities. Okay. Requires a colon. So anything before the colon, it's cost colon effect. Like Asmodeus 3 black mana, draw 7 cards. Necrotic Ooze will not have the other ability. Well, it'll have the last one, but it won't have the you can't draw part. So if Necrotic Ooze is in play and Asmodeus is in the graveyard, you just have 3 black mana, draw 7 cards. That is kind of outstanding. But anyway, there is a little bit of a life loss there, so we're going to have to do a little life gain. And we've got a little bit of life gain. Because, well, first and foremost, I'm not responsible enough. I'll do it. I will pay that life. I will. So, let's look at our life link real quick, shall we? We have a Vampiric Link, which is the black version of Spirit Link. Corrupt, good removal. Tutors of Corruption, locks it on Warhammer. Makes a creature big and trampoly and lifelink. We have a decent-sized commander anyway, so Subversion, I know it's not the best life gain in the world, but it does hit each opponent. Gifted Aetherborn and Vampiric Nighthawk, just because they are really good life linkers. Eternal Thirst here again, lifelink, and grows when things die. We're playing mono black, and we're heavy on the removal. Sanguine Bond, because when we gain, might as well. This would have been a perfect place to put the other half of Blood Bond. It escapes me right now. Gary, the Grey Merchant of Asphodel, that's a chunk of life. And then, of course, Exsanguinate, which can be a pretty decent win condition on its own. Now, mana. Our commander does cost 6, so we have Soul Ring, Soul Talisman, Dark Ritual, Expedition Map. I'm running a Jeweled Amulet. It is a Mox every other turn. Or, well, it's a mana rock every other turn. So, if you don't need it on turn 1, you can lay your land and your Jeweled Amulet, power up the amulet. You're still at 3 mana on turn 3. So, Star Compass, Heater and Crawler, Charcoal Diamond, Pristine Talisman, of course, going to gain that 1 life. Phyrexian Totem. Now, this is one that I don't recommend ever turning into the creature. Sisay's Ring, Golem's Eye, Hedron Archive, Everflowing Chalice, and our Bantu's Monument to make our creatures cheaper, you know. Let's, I only have 2 card draw spells, as it were, because, I mean, our commander is card draw. We have Read the Bones and Harvester of Souls, because, I mean, there are going to be times when our commander is not in play. Couple of tutors, the Diabolic Tutor and the Beseech the Queen. Now, we are like... Demonic Embrace actually fits in this one since, you know, it's already a demon, but +3 brings it up to a 9 power commander, so that's not bad. Lashwrath does a pretty good, that's a pretty good, you know, win con right there. So, Swiftfoot Boots. And why deal 21 when you can deal 10 instead? It's as easy as counting to 10. Now, I'll admit I do have some questionable things in here. For some reason, while I was building the deck, I felt the need to hate on counters. So we have Vampire Hexmage, Spike Cannibal, and Thief of Blood. I'm not exactly certain what I was thinking when I started building the deck. I must have had a terrible incident with Hydras. I don't know. But now we're going to get a little old school, because we're getting close to the removal section here, and Roll Assassin is just a favorite of mine. It's still, in a big multiplayer game, it comes down, people pay attention. But the Roll Assassin works really good if you have a way to force the tap. Icy Manipulator, the Bone Crank. Yeah. And I went there with the Roll Assassin, so I was like, well, you know, Sorcerer's Queen and Roll Assassin, pretty good buddies. Simulacrum is a card that a lot of people... Well, first off, nobody plays around it. Nobody. I don't. 4th edition or 5th edition? 4th or 5th was the last time this was printed, so it's not a popularly played card. Library of Lang. Our commander says draw 7 cards, so we're going to need to hold some cards. And then our good friend, the Real Nightmare. The last card before we get into our removal. Now, we have some removal here. Executioner's Capsule. Pretty good. Let's go ahead and back this thing up before we... Tragic Slip. Cruel Edict. Diabolic Edict. We're in mono black, so you know we gotta have that Feed the Swarm. Terror. Cast Down. Doomblade. Now, I know Death Grip is not exactly removal, but it kind of is. I mean, I typically put my counter magic in the removal slots, and a repeatable counter spell, you know, black counter a green spell is, I realize that is really good and potentially hosing. So I put in a Perish to go with it. But our 187 boys, the Fleshbag Marauder, Merciless Executioner, Ravenous Chuppa Thingy. We've got Force of Despair. Kind of like that one. Murder. Blood on the Snow, which, no, I'm not running, don't have any more snow lands. But it is destroy all creatures. And then the Necromantic Selection, which is pretty good. Now, our non-basic lands. We have, of course, Barren Moor and Desert of the Glorified as our cycling lands. Even Stronghold, there again, if you don't have a turn 1 play and you've got this, it just comes into play. But you can get that boost by sacking it. Sometimes you use it, sometimes you don't. That Reliquary Tower, because like I said, you need cards in hand. Gyreach Sanitarium, now that's everybody draws and discards. Bojuka Bog, sometimes, Rogue's Passage, there it is. And then Cabal Stronghold to finish it out. So that is Asmodeus. I'll be honest with you. This is unplayed as of yet. I almost feel like it doesn't have enough win conditions. I don't know. But a giant demon in the command zone, isn't that kind of a win condition? Well, that is what we have got for today. We're going to go put 789 up on the wall. Taco so shandy. I do appreciate it. Sorry about this one being a few hours late, but I slept. So I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and shovel and cut.